Hello and welcome to Light Bearers. So today we will be dealing on bearing and distance. So then what is bearing? Bearing is the angle in degree measured in clockwise direction from the north. And then what is distance? Distance is the space between 2 points. Now let's take for instance, this is A and this is B. So from A to B is assumed to be C. So C is the distance between A and B. Now, before solving a problem in bearing and distance, you need to know these things. This is north, this is east, and this is south, and this is west. These are the four cardinal points. Now we have four different quadrants. This is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Each quadrant is 90 degrees. So the angle here is 90. North, east, and then east, south, north, west, south, west. So each of these angles are 90 degrees. Now, so from the definition of bearing, we have that it is the angle in degrees measured in clockwise direction from the north. So this is the north. So let's call here 0. So we start from here and move back to the north, which makes it 360 degrees. Now, from the north to the east is 90 degrees. From the east to the south is 90 degrees. From the south to the west is 90 degrees. And from the west to the north is also 90 degrees. So from the north to the south is 180 degrees. And then from north back to north is 360 degrees. So you also need to take note of this. Whenever you see something like this, it means the distance between P and R, which is the distance between P and R. So let's call here A. So A is the distance between P and R. Now let's solve some questions. Okay, so we have a problem here. The problem is this. If the bearing of A from B is 35 degrees, what is the bearing of B from A? Now, if the bearing of A from B is 35 degrees, so we are to find A from B. That means we will draw B before A. This is B. This is north, east, south, and west. Now, so the bearing of A from B is 35 degrees. And mind you, while I was introducing this topic, I told us that each quadrant is 90 degrees. And bearing is the angle in degrees measured in clockwise direction from the north. So we move like this. So from 0, we move. So we have here 35 degrees. Now, this is A. We have here north, east, south, and then west. Now, we are to find the bearing of B from A. So, the bearing of A from B is 35 degrees. So, the bearing of B from A is what? From here to here. Remember, each quadrant is 90 degrees. So northeast is 90 degrees. East-south is 90 degrees, which is 180. Now, we need to know the angle here and then sum it up to 180. So, from the concept of trigonometry, in other words, sine and cosine rule, alternate angles are equal. So, this angle is alternate to this angle. We have here 35 degrees. So this angle here is alternate to this angle. So here is also 35 degrees. That means here is 35 degrees. So 180 plus 35 degrees gives us what? It gives us 215 degrees. So the bearing of B from A is 215 degrees. Now, while I was introducing this topic to us, I omitted something. For you to solve correctly any problem in bearing and distance, you need to understand the concept of trigonometry. To do that, check the description below and you will see a link to a video on trigonometry.